Alright, welcome back to the channel, everybody. I don't know if you watched last Saturday's upload, but on Saturday's upload right here, we discussed a reversal signal in the DXY. That reversal signal being a cyclical indicator for the longer term uptrend the DXY has been in since 2008's swing low. We will discuss that in a little bit more on this video, so let's go ahead and get started. First things first, the video is being put out on Friday. The market is still open. It is noon here in the East Coast of the United States of America, and we do have a strong dollar. Let me go ahead and put you on the big screen real quick, and you can see up here, bottom right chart. I'm on a daily here with the DXY. You can see it. It is a very big, strong daily candle. And then if you look over here on the Bitcoin chart, which would be second from the left top, you have also a green day. So Bitcoin can rally with the dollar, but Bitcoin has to be stronger than the dollar in order to do that. Other trades or other things that I'm watching, I'm still watching the Copart trade. I exited Intel last week at the highs. Now we've had that pullback correction down to 2239, which is the near-term current daily support. As long as we close above 2239 today, I will be looking for long calls, probably 105 days out, and just looking for this to potentially go back up to 2420, and then we can take profits if we do get that move up. If we gap below 2239 on Monday, then I can close the position out. But I want to see it definitely close above today before I decide to take the trade, or I want to see it close to closing above, right? So I will probably take that, execute that position later on this evening. Here's Bitcoin currently intraday. You can see that it's been real crazy. We had gangbuster numbers, a lot bigger numbers than were expected on the non-farm payroll. And from that initial number, we got a nice pop in risk markets. Here's the S&P 500, big strong move higher, and then it fell dramatically, but still was a bullish candle on the SPX 500 USD, the CFD contract up here on the SPX. You opened right at the midpoint of the weekly expected move. As of right now on Friday, the expected move for next week will be 100 points, but that could change depending on the VIX. Going back down here to the one of the small monitors here, you can see the VIX is currently at 1904. So we did get a pop all this week. We were looking for a potential pop and then a sell-off, but we did not get that. It just pushed through, and so far it's finding a little bit of resistance here. If we pull up the weekly, you will see from the closes on these bullish weekly candles, you're making lower highs and lower closes. So this could still ultimately get sold into, and we could see the S&P 500 rally. We could also see Bitcoin rally. Remember, just because the dollar's rallying does not mean Bitcoin cannot rally. Usually that ain't the case. Usually when the dollar is strong, Bitcoin will sell off. That's only because Bitcoin is paired against the dollar. But I think now with all the ETFs out there and stuff, the easier ways to trade Bitcoin, that would probably help it remain strong. As long as people are buying, right? That's what we need. Definitely need buyers out there. But anyways, VIX is pushing up. So depending on where the VIX closes this week and today will determine the point move we see on the S&P 500 next week. So I will post it on Twitter once we have the market close this evening. Whatever the expected move is for the S&P, you will get that on Twitter if you're not following me. It is trade_talk_ on Twitter or X, sorry. But anyways, the trade. All right, so here we are on the trade. I'm going to go ahead and show you. Here is where we were when we closed out last week. So basically, this is the candle that was the last candle when I made the video. The video came out on Saturday, and we were looking for a reversal on the dollar based on the cyclical analysis. If you haven't seen that video, go back and watch it. We were looking for a reversal. But we had to be cautious because this white line up here, as you can see, that's last week's high. Last week's high, right there around that green circle. Last week's high. We were looking for a potential push above to take out last week's high, and that would have been our entry had we gotten that upon failing back under it. We would have gotten short, thrown our stop above that. That is not what happened. What instead happened is we pushed up. We took out Friday's high, but not the weekly high, just Friday's high. And then the market rolled over and fell under daily resistance. You can see that here, daily res right there. So this was daily resistance. This is the daily resistance level because this was the highest close since we opened this candle. We don't always go back to the highest close. We go back to the nearest close. All right. So anyways, intraday, I basically waited for price to falter here on the 30-minute time frame. And here was the entry. And this is basically what I was watching. So here was that weekly high. We were pushing up, pushing up. This was before I woke up. But then I woke up and I seen that we pushed up and then we failed, and then failed right here, right before the market opened. We closed under the daily resistance. So here's the market open, or the 9:30 US market open. We pushed back up to daily resistance right here. And this is where we executed, or I executed, the short entry on this wick higher. And then I threw my stop loss 25 pips above, because this was going to be a longer term hold, more of like a swing trade, if you will, because I was basically looking for the dollar to reverse pretty soon. Now, it is important to tell you that I did attempt this very same trade in through here last week, and then I got stopped out of it. And I also tried once on the pound dollar to get short, and I got stopped out of it too. So 2 trades that I took initially looking for this trade to work ultimately got stopped out. That would have been a 2% loss on the total account's equity. And this trade, obviously, once it got down here, you know, you're looking at a 2-to-1 risk to reward. That basically covers both of those losses. And then if you get any downside continuation, that more than covers those losses by a lot. And then here we are today, currently. So this thing is just falling. And basically, if you look at it on the daily, it is a fantastic trade every single day. So we took the trade entry here at this white line. And then every single day since today's Friday, October 4th, you have did nothing but fail. We did retest the 2024 yearly opening here on Wednesday. Thursday, you closed the daily under. And Friday, we had a retest of, and we have failed. But I do expect this to potentially find support pretty soon and look for a retest back up to at least the 2024 yearly opening range. All right. As you can see, we're still in this trade with 3 lots. That was taken by a 1% loss with this spread of the stop loss. Right. I just essentially put in a 25 pip stop and put in 1% loss on the account. And this is the size of the position that it automatically calculated. So that I went with that. I took profits when I hit a 2-to-1 risk to reward, and I moved my stop to break even. That trade is still on, and it is very strong right now. It's looking really good. If we do get a nice move up, or where it moves up, we'll look for potential resistance to find itself there, and then we'll look for new entries for another expansion wave after the correction. So you would be correcting, maybe you correct like this, and then you would be looking for entries and look for another leg or another expansion to the downside. Now, obviously, I don't know if that's going to happen. We never know what's going to happen. This is why I always take profits on my trades, especially when they go into profit-taking territory. So with that, you know, this is the trade, and that's how simple it is to do it. I basically watch those major levels that I've been talking about on this channel since the channel started, and usually we get into good positions. We will lose a couple positions here and there, but generally speaking, we do pretty good. So what am I expecting for this week to come, or moving on next week? When we go look at the S&P 500, you'll see that it is having a nice day. But I want to bring this up actually on Thinkorswim. Let me pull up this chart and make it, well, here, first let me just pull this over here. So this is the intraday price action. It's been trading around this VWAP, intraday VWAP here pretty much all day. It's given a few opportunities intraday to nail, you know, 5 or 10 points, but it's been pretty choppy. Here's that move after we got the NFP print, and then this is what happened when the market opened. So basically back and forth. This is the current daily candle that we have. We did open the fresh month here, so the new monthly VWAP, which is something that I also watch. You can see here monthly VWAP, monthly VWAP. This set the monthly low for last month, and then it got back above. Price stayed above it and moved higher and stayed pretty much above the VWAP for the entire month. So here we are, new monthly open. I'm currently watching this VWAP to see, do we close this week and day above this monthly VWAP? If we do, then I would look to sell puts around 5,700, hoping or expecting, not really hoping, it's just a trade, whether it works or not, it doesn't matter. But I would look to sell $5,700 strike puts, expecting price to continue to move higher if we do in fact close above this monthly VWAP. This monthly VWAP dot comes in around 57.58, and if I put my crosshairs up here to 57.58, you can see that we did fall below 57.58 briefly today twice, and we may still fall back under it. I don't know how today's going to close, so today's closure is going to be important whether or not I'm looking to sell puts next week or sell calls. I can't make that decision just yet, as we have not closed today's range out yet. Oil is continuously climbing here, which is normal. Whenever you have the dollar moving higher, oil can pretty much move higher with the dollar. Near-term trades that I am looking at right now, Intel, watching 2239. Let's pull up Intel real quick, INTC. I'm watching this for potential entries. Let's clear all this out. I'm watching this near-term daily support right here on Intel, 2235, 2239, sorry, 2239. If we close under 2239, I will not take the long entry. If we close above it, 10 minutes before the market closes, if it looks like it's going to close above, I will get long. If we gap down Monday, then I will close it out. But I'm looking for long dated calls, probably around 105 days out. This way I don't have to worry if it takes a few days to get going. And it'll also help me, protect my downside. We don't have earnings for a little while yet, so I'm not expecting any massive gaps up or down either way. It still can happen though, you never know. So be careful out there. If you do take this position, make sure you enter with a stop loss. I am still holding on to the Copart position as we did not close under 52.27, which was the level that I was looking for a potential close. And that is simply August's open. Right here is August. That's the open. So 52.27. Back to the daily. This is the price that I'm watching. We close under it today. Then I will exit this position with a profit because I entered this position way down here with a long dated call. So I'm not losing many days worth of premium based on time decay because I went out so far. Now, each day that goes by, I do lose a little bit of premium, but I'm not losing a massive amount of premium waiting for this to take off, potentially break out above this. We can get it up to 54.16, and then I would close the position out for a nice win. And then finally, the last position that I'm looking at today for a close above is going to be Nike. I'm currently looking at a descending wedge here. Let me go out a little bit so you can see. So basically, this is when Nike started its downtrend. It's still currently in a downtrend. If we pull up the moving averages here, you can see this structure is pretty bearish still. But, if we can close above daily support, I'm looking at getting ahead of this because we did ultimately make lower highs and lower lows down here. And then we bounced out of this region rapidly. We did not fill this gap yet. So I do think that there is still a little bit of upside left on Nike to close out this gap up here around 93.70. So if I can get in right here or around 82.22, then I will get long, looking for price to slowly move higher once again at the 105-day expiration. And that's why I'm trying to get this video out today. Now, once again, if we open below these levels on any one of these three trades, I will exit those positions with losses. But real quickly, let's go here and look at oil. So oil gave us an awesome short opportunity here, but I did not take it. I missed that trade. Then we had this response right here. And trade talkers or people inside the Trade Talk Discord was asking me, are we looking to short this again since we're back up there? And my answer was an emphatic no. Anytime you have this kind of momentum, this kind of bullish force going back into the level that you initially shorted, it's a pretty good chance that you're going to go above that level, because this was a very big move. It was a very volatile day, and then you've seen bullish continuation with a higher daily close the next day. And then yesterday we were testing this level again. I know people were wanting to short this, expecting the same thing to happen that happened here, but you made a higher low here. So you got to be careful when you do that. And then boom, there's the breakout and move above. So as long as you have a strong dollar, you can expect oil to remain strong as well. So anyways, dollar is still uber strong on the day. Here's the dollar. Here's the daily candle. I mean, it's just, it's very bullish today. It's making S&P struggle to be bullish, but Bitcoin is still right around the highs of day, which is nice because the dollar's right around the highs of day. So dollar could potentially find resistance here on the near term next week and see a small correction, maybe back down to like 101.74, back down to this swing high. I don't know if you're going to get that all in one day. Could take a few days, might not even happen. You could continue to just move up. I don't know what's going to happen, but we did have a very strong week this week on the dollar. Look at this breakout weekly candle, massive move higher. We picked that trade right at the perfect time. Basically, we pretty much got in like right in the 100 spot 24 area, and we have capitalized on this entire move to the upside. So fantastic stuff there last week's upload. Hopefully this week you can catch one of those trades I discussed. I don't know if I would take them all, you know what I mean, but one of them, maybe, you know, find the one that you like the best, and make sure that you're not taking the trade if you're well below the levels that I discussed. Y'all have a fantastic rest of your day. Make sure you guys have a fantastic weekend, and we will see you next week. Thank you so much for being here. As always, make sure you guys trade safe, trade smart, and happy trading, everybody.